The courtroom was very still. Everyone was quiet, waiting to hear what would happen next. Then, something shocking happened. The judge looked very angry. His hands were shaking. His face turned red. He stood up and shouted. He had just found out that Queen Camilla had not told the truth while speaking in court. It wasn't just a small lie. It was a big lie. One that changed everything. People in the room gasped. Some even covered their mouths in shock. No one could believe that someone from the royal family would do something like this. But the proof was clear. The judge had seen enough. His voice was loud and strong when he gave the final decision. He said Queen Camilla would spend the rest of her life in prison. The room was silent again. Not because it was calm, but because no one knew what to say. A queen caught in a lie, a judge bursting with anger, a moment that will be remembered forever. The courtroom scene. Setup. The day began like no other. Long before the courtroom doors opened, the streets outside were already full. People had come from everywhere, some holding signs, others just hoping to catch a glimpse of something historic. Reporters lined up along the sidewalk, microphones in hand, cameras aimed, waiting for a moment that would shake the world. The energy was tense, almost electric. It felt like the calm before a storm. Across the street, a wall of police officers stood in formation. Security was tight, tighter than anything the city had seen in years. The trial of Queen Camilla had brought London to a standstill. Metal barricades kept crowds back, while drones flew above to monitor activity from the sky. Protesters stood shoulder to shoulder shouting, "Truth for the people," and "No crown above the law." At exactly 8:42 a.m., the motorcade appeared. A sleek black car slowly approached the courthouse, escorted by motorcycles and armed guards. As the vehicle came to a stop, the crowd went silent. The door opened. Queen Camilla stepped out. She wore a deep navy coat, perfectly pressed. Her head was held high, her face calm. Behind her dark sunglasses, no emotion could be seen. She didn't wave. She didn't speak. She simply walked toward the building, surrounded by bodyguards on all sides. Inside the courthouse, things were just as intense. Royal family members had taken their seats in the gallery. Prince William sat beside Princess Kate, their expressions solemn. A few rows behind them were senior advisors, officials, and faces the public rarely saw. No one smiled. No one whispered. Every person understood the weight of what was about to unfold. When the judge entered the room, everyone stood. The courtroom was packed. Every seat was taken. Cameras were positioned at every angle, streaming live to millions around the world. After a brief opening, the moment came. "Queen Camilla," the judge said, "please take the stand." She walked slowly to the witness box, sat down, and adjusted the microphone. A hush fell over the room. This was it. A queen, under oath, in a court of law. For a few seconds, everything stood still. Time itself seemed to pause. All eyes were, quite literally, on the crown. The lie under oath. The judge looked directly at Camilla and asked, "Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?" Camilla nodded and responded, "I do." Her voice was firm but calm, as though she had practiced that line 100 times. The questions began. Most were routine at first. Details about her involvement in a specific royal project, her travel schedule, her personal knowledge of financial matters. She answered each one carefully, pausing just long enough to seem thoughtful, but not nervous. Then came the turning point. "Your Majesty," the prosecutor said, "were you aware of the transfer of £12 million from the Royal Sovereign Reserve to an offshore account in the Cayman Islands?" A long pause followed. Camilla's lips parted slightly, but no words came out at first. After several seconds, she responded. "I had no knowledge of such a transfer," she said. "It must have been handled by my staff without my involvement." Those words would change everything. For the rest of the day, the courtroom continued as planned. But behind the scenes, something else was happening. Evidence was being examined. Whistleblowers were stepping forward. And then, just 2 days later, everything unraveled. A former palace financial advisor, who had remained anonymous for years, came forward with a collection of internal emails and private communications. These messages showed that Camilla had not only been aware of the transfer, she had personally authorized it. One email, dated 6 months earlier, read, "Ensure this transfer is complete before the press cycle shifts. No trace must lead back to the crown. Camilla." If that wasn't enough, a piece of video footage emerged from palace security archives. In it, Camilla is seen speaking to an aide, casually mentioning the funds, and even joking. Let's just say it's a royal family tradition, off the books and off the radar. When this footage was played in the courtroom, gasps filled the air. It wasn't just shocking, it was undeniable. The very person who swore to tell the truth had just been caught lying on camera. Inside the courtroom, everyone was stunned. The mood shifted instantly. What had once felt like a formal inquiry now felt like a betrayal. Some in the audience looked down in disbelief. Others stared directly at Camilla, who remained motionless, her face pale. And the question on everyone's mind was simple. Why? Was she trying to protect someone else in the family? Was she afraid of the fallout? Or did she simply believe she was above consequence? Whatever the answer, the damage had been done. The judge's explosive reaction. When the court reconvened the next morning, the judge was different. He seemed heavier somehow, weighed down by what he had learned. His voice was lower, his tone more serious. He adjusted his robe, looked over his notes, and finally locked eyes with Camilla. "In all my years on this bench," he began, "I have never witnessed such a brazen betrayal of the truth from someone in such a position of power." The room fell silent. You could hear every breath. "You swore before this court and before the people of this nation that you would speak the truth, but you did not. You looked this court in the eye and lied, deliberately, repeatedly, without remorse." He reached for his gavel and slammed it down with force. The echo rang through the chamber like a thunderclap. "You used your royal title not as a badge of service but as a shield, a way to hide behind history, behind tradition, behind a crown. But today, that shield will not protect you." The judge's voice trembled, not with fear, but with fury. "You insulted this courtroom. You insulted the British people. You insulted every person who still believes that truth and justice matter." Some members of the audience wept. Others sat stone still, eyes wide in disbelief. One person stood up and began to clap softly, but the judge quickly raised a hand. "This is not a celebration," he said firmly. "This is accountability." He turned back to Camilla. "You are not here as a royal. You are here as a citizen. And like every citizen, you are bound to the truth." The sentencing. In the days leading up to the sentencing, the world held its breath. Legal experts debated what kind of punishment she would receive. Would it be a fine, house arrest, a private retreat far from public view? Some said the crown would protect her. Others believed justice had to be served to preserve the court's integrity. Then, the moment came. The judge returned to the bench. Camilla stood, her hands clasped in front of her. She looked older now, more fragile. The confidence she once carried seemed to have vanished. "This court," the judge began, "has carefully considered the facts, the testimony, and the law." He paused. "Let it be known that perjury is not a minor mistake. It is an act of deception against the very foundation of justice. And when done by someone in your position, the damage is far greater." Another pause. "For this reason," he said, "this court sentences you to life imprisonment." Gasps filled the room. Some people cried out. Others stood in shock. Prince William's jaw dropped. Kate closed her eyes. Camilla did not move. The judge gave one final statement. "Something shocking has just happened inside the royal family. Over 200 private videos were leaked. Videos that were never meant to be seen by the public. People close to the palace believe King Charles may have had something to do with it. And when Queen Camilla found out, she was not just upset. She was angry like never before. She didn't stay quiet. She spoke out. She blamed Charles and called him out behind closed doors. What started as a quiet problem inside the palace has now turned into a storm. Their marriage, their trust, everything is shaking. The queen feels betrayed, and the king is trying to stay calm, but the damage is done. This isn't just another royal story. It's about secrets getting out, trust being broken, and a queen who finally says, enough. Let's take a step back. Before we dive deep into the chaos, let's talk about who we're dealing with here. King Charles and Queen Camilla. Their story goes way back, long before they ever wore crowns. Charles was married to Princess Diana, but even back then, Camilla was always there. Some say she was the love of his life all along. After Diana's tragic death, Charles and Camilla slowly brought their relationship into the public eye. It took years of public backlash, awkward headlines, and royal PR to make it work. People didn't accept Camilla at first. Many saw her as the reason Charles and Diana's marriage fell apart. But over time, the narrative softened. She stayed quiet, loyal, and beside Charles through all the highs and lows. Then, when Queen Elizabeth passed away, Charles became king. And Camilla? She was crowned Queen Consort, later simply Queen Camilla. It was a moment that sealed her place in royal history. Now, they are the most powerful couple in the British monarchy. But power comes with problems. And right now, this couple is facing a storm. What are the plus 200 videos? So, what exactly are these videos that have turned the palace upside down? Over 200 clips were leaked online. Yes, over 200. That's not a small number. Some videos are just short, while others are several minutes long. Most people haven't seen all of them, but rumors about their content are everywhere. Some say the videos show private moments, Camilla speaking off the record, Charles behind the scenes, or even heated family conversations. Others claim a few clips hint at royal staff disagreements, awkward exchanges, or moments that are far from the polished image we're used to seeing. There's even talk that some videos touch on politics or royal business that should have stayed confidential. Were they meant for family use only? Internal recordings? Security footage? No one knows for sure. And that's what makes it even more intense. Now here's the question. How did they get out? Some believe it was a cyber breach. Maybe someone hacked a royal device. Others say it was intentional. Maybe someone inside the palace wanted this info out there. That's where the real drama begins. Why it's explosive. This leak is a big deal. Huge. First, it's a privacy breach. The royal family is all about keeping things in-house. They don't like their private life exposed. Every word they speak publicly is carefully planned. So you can imagine how upsetting it would be for unfiltered footage to reach the world. Second, it could hurt their reputation. People trust the monarchy to represent tradition, stability, and strength. If these videos show the opposite, fighting, stress, shady conversations, that trust can break. And third, it's about political impact. The monarchy may not control the government, but it still holds power. Royal approval matters. If the public starts questioning the royals' integrity, things could change. Fast. These aren't just random videos. They could change how people see the king and queen forever. Now here's where things take a turn. Some people believe the person behind the leak is King Charles himself. Wait, why would a king leak over 200 videos that make him and his wife look bad? That's what we're going to explore. Theories and rumors. First, let's look at some of the theories. Some insiders believe Charles may have done this on purpose. Strange, right? One reason? A power move. Maybe Charles wanted to send a message to Camilla, to the public, or even to other royals. Some say the footage paints Camilla in a bad light, while Charles comes across as calm and composed. Could this be a subtle attempt to shift public sympathy toward him? Another theory? Damage control. Maybe there was a risk the videos were going to be leaked anyway. Charles may have thought, better I release them and control the story than let the media twist it. Or it could be a distraction. Let's say another royal scandal was bubbling behind the scenes. This leak could pull attention away from that. After all, the media loves a juicy headline. And then there's the image management angle. Maybe Charles wanted to look honest, transparent, like he had nothing to hide. But all these theories are still just that, theories. Sources and evidence. So where's the proof? Well, we don't have solid evidence that Charles leaked the videos. But there are clues. Some tabloids quote anonymous palace sources who say Charles was oddly calm after the videos went public. He didn't seem shocked, didn't lash out. In fact, he kept a low profile, almost like he was waiting for the dust to settle. There were also moments caught on camera during public events. Charles looked smug at times, like someone who had control, even while the world was freaking out. Compare that to Camilla, who reportedly looked stiff, tense, and visibly uncomfortable. Coincidence? Maybe. But many believe Charles's behavior speaks volumes. Queen Camilla's response. Now here's where things really heat up. If Charles really did leak those videos, or if Camilla just believes he did, then her reaction makes perfect sense. Reports say that after the leak, there was a major confrontation behind closed doors. It wasn't a soft disagreement. It was a furious attack, according to one insider. But what does that mean? Some say Camilla yelled, demanding to know if Charles betrayed her. Others say she went cold, giving him the silent treatment, refusing to speak except during formal events. There are rumors that she even threatened to leave for a while, possibly to stay with friends or retreat to one of her personal residences. The Queen doesn't throw tantrums, but people close to her say this was the most upset she's been in years. Camilla's possible motivations. So why did Camilla react so strongly? Well, imagine being exposed like that, having the world watch your private life like a movie. Camilla's embarrassed, that's clear, but it's more than that. She may feel betrayed. If Charles really leaked those videos, on purpose or even by accident, it's a breach of trust, not just as a queen, but as a wife. Then there's the fear of being publicly exposed. Camilla worked hard for years to win over the public. These videos might undo all that progress in just a few minutes. And don't forget, Camilla has children and grandchildren outside the royal bubble. Her personal reputation matters. She's not just protecting herself, she's protecting her family. What she may have said or done. There's no confirmed quote from Camilla, but insiders say she confronted Charles with words like, "How could you do this to me? This will ruin everything. You said I could trust you." Some staff say she refused to attend certain events with him. Others noticed she stayed in a separate wing of the palace for a few days. During public appearances, she seemed distant, smiling less, walking a few steps away from Charles, avoiding eye contact. For royal watchers, these small things mean everything. Comparison to past royal drama. If this sounds like something out of a Netflix show, you're not alone. The royal family has seen its fair share of drama. Think back to Princess Diana, who famously exposed the cracks in her marriage during that explosive BBC interview. Or Prince Andrew, whose scandal brought major embarrassment to the monarchy. And of course, Harry and Meghan, who left the royal family and dropped bombshells in their own tell-all interviews. But here's what makes this different. This scandal is not about outside forces attacking the family. It's about two people at the top, king and queen, possibly turning against each other. And that could change everything. The royal drama is far from over, and things may only get messier from here. With trust broken and the spotlight growing hotter, what happens next could change everything for the royal family. To stay updated as this story unfolds, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss what's coming next. If you found this video interesting, leave a like and share it with others who follow the royals. Thanks for watching.
Buckingham Palace, which has announced that the King has been diagnosed with cancer.
Can't mimic voices for love or money. I'm completely hopeless at it. I was the only one, so I think she carved her own role.
Dark clouds have gathered over the royal family. Queen Camilla, always strong in front of the world, has been seen breaking down in tears after receiving shocking news. A life sentence that changes everything. The palace halls, once filled with power and control, now feel heavy with fear and uncertainty. At the same time, another heartbreaking update shakes the kingdom. King Charles, already fighting a tough battle with cancer, faces a new twist in his health that no one saw coming. The weight of it all is too much to bear, and the royal family is struggling to hold things together. What led to this moment? What does this mean for the future of the monarchy? The truth behind these shocking events is more heartbreaking than anyone could have imagined. Queen Camilla's alleged life sentence. The phrase life sentence is usually something we hear in courtrooms. It's a punishment for serious crimes, something that keeps people behind bars forever. So, when people say Queen Camilla has been given a life sentence, what does that actually mean? The truth is, Camilla is not in any legal trouble. She has not been sent to prison. Instead, this so-called sentence seems to be a metaphor. Many believe that Camilla is now trapped in a role she never truly wanted, facing endless criticism and public scrutiny. She has stepped into a position that comes with huge responsibilities, and it's weighing heavily on her. The rumors started spreading on social media and in tabloid newspapers. Some headlines made it sound like she was facing actual jail time. Others exaggerated her emotional state, claiming she was in tears and unable to handle the pressure. But where did this all come from? It seems that many of these stories were fueled by the ongoing debates about her place in the royal family. Some people still see her as the other woman from the past. Even though years have passed since Princess Diana's tragic death, the shadow of that history still lingers. Some tabloids thrive on this controversy, pushing dramatic headlines to attract attention. So, is Queen Camilla really serving a life sentence? Not in a legal sense, but emotionally, she might feel like she is stuck in a role that comes with endless criticism and expectations. Why Queen Camilla might be struggling emotionally. Camilla's journey into the royal family has never been smooth. From the very beginning, she was labeled as the woman who came between Prince Charles and Princess Diana. The world loved Diana. She was the people's princess, known for her kindness and warmth. So, when Charles's affair with Camilla became public, it was like a betrayal to many. Even after Diana's passing, Camilla was seen as a controversial figure. When she finally married Charles in 2005, many people still refused to accept her. And now, as Queen Consort, the pressure has only increased. Public perception of Camilla remains divided. Some have warmed up to her over the years, seeing her as a dedicated wife to Charles. But others still view her with suspicion. The comparison to Diana never goes away, and that can be emotionally draining. Imagine stepping into a role where millions of people constantly judge you, compare you, and question your worth. That's the reality Camilla faces every day. And then, there's the pressure within the royal family itself. Prince William and Prince Harry were deeply affected by their mother's story. While William has remained mostly respectful towards Camilla, Harry has been more outspoken. In his book Spare, Harry made it clear that he saw Camilla as someone who played the long game to secure her place in the royal family. These tensions, whether spoken or unspoken, add to the emotional burden Camilla carries. Now, with King Charles battling cancer, things have become even more complicated. She is expected to be strong, supportive, and ready to step up in his absence. But behind the scenes, she may be struggling with the weight of it all. Camilla's role in the monarchy becoming Queen Consort was never part of Camilla's original plan. When she married Charles, there were talks that she would only be called Princess Consort out of respect for Diana's legacy. But over time, Charles made it clear that he wanted Camilla to have full recognition as his queen. When Queen Elizabeth passed away in 2022, Camilla officially stepped into the role. But with that title came massive responsibilities. She is now expected to support the king, attend royal events, and uphold the image of the monarchy. Her transition from Duchess of Cornwall to Queen Consort was not an easy one. People still criticized her, questioned her worth, and compared her to Diana. She had to work extra hard to prove herself. Even now, she faces backlash whenever she makes a public appearance. Some believe she is undeserving of the title, while others feel she has earned her place. The question remains, does she feel trapped in this role? Some insiders suggest that Camilla never truly wanted this level of attention. She was comfortable staying in the background, but now, with Charles's health crisis, she is being pushed into a more central position. And with every move she makes, the world is watching. King Charles's cancer update. Just when the world was adjusting to the idea of Charles as king, shocking news came out. He had been diagnosed with cancer. The announcement was made by Buckingham Palace, but they did not reveal what type of cancer he has. All they confirmed was that it is not prostate cancer. The news left many people concerned. Charles is in his mid-70s, and health issues at this stage can be serious. He has already started treatment, but the palace has kept many details private. Medical experts have weighed in, saying that early detection is key, but without more information, it's hard to predict his recovery. The big question now is, how is the royal family handling this? How the royal family is reacting? Camilla has been by Charles's side, attending to royal duties while also supporting him behind closed doors. Some reports suggest that she has been under immense stress, trying to balance everything at once. Prince William has stepped up in his father's absence. As the next in line for the throne, he has taken on more responsibilities. His focus is not just on his father's health, but also on keeping the monarchy stable. And what about Prince Harry? His reaction has been one of the biggest talking points. After years of tension with the royal family, he made a quick trip to the UK after hearing about his father's condition. But the visit was short, and there was no sign of deep reconciliation. Many wonder if this crisis will bring the family closer, or if the distance will remain. The future of the monarchy, amidst health concerns. If King Charles's health worsens, what happens next? The answer is clear. Prince William is next in line, but is he ready? Many believe he has been preparing for this role his entire life. He is respected, responsible, and has the public's support. But stepping into the role of king is not easy, and with his father's illness, he may have to take on more leadership sooner than expected. The monarchy itself is at a crossroads. Public opinion about the royal family is changing. Some people still love and support them, while others question whether the monarchy should continue at all. Charles' illness and Camilla's struggles only add to the uncertainty. For now, the world watches and waits. Will Charles recover? Will Camilla find strength in her role? And will this crisis bring the family together or tear them apart? The royal family is facing one of its darkest moments, and the future has never felt more uncertain. With Queen Camilla in tears and King Charles's health hanging in the balance, breaking news. King Charles explodes in royal rage that nobody saw coming. The monarchy is in complete meltdown. The Windsor dynasty is crumbling before our very eyes. He erupted. No restraint, no royal protocol, not even a hint of that famous Windsor composure. King Charles has exploded after Queen Camilla was allegedly caught cheating with her ex-husband, Andrew Parker Bowles. And now she's been forced to return her wedding ring. Why is this scandal rocking the monarchy to its core? Because this betrayal comes from the woman who stood by Charles for decades through endless controversy. Royal insiders are now involved, reportedly rushing to contain the fallout that could destabilize the monarchy just 1 year into Charles's reign. So what exactly happened behind palace walls that has the king in an unprecedented fury? Why is Camilla suddenly caught in a shocking reunion with her first husband after all these years? Stick around, this royal catastrophe is just beginning to unfold. But first, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss a single update in this historic royal family implosion. Did you just subscribe? Perfect timing. Let's dive into this royal nightmare. The drama allegedly began when King Charles returned early from a 3-day tour of Wales. He was supposed to spend the night in Cardiff, but sources claim he abruptly changed plans and returned to Windsor Castle unannounced. What he allegedly discovered has sent shockwaves through the royal household. According to multiple royal sources, Charles walked in on an intimate dinner between Queen Camilla and her ex-husband Andrew Parker Bowles in the private royal apartments, a dinner that was definitely not on the official calendar. It wasn't just the dinner, said one palace insider who requested anonymity. It was the atmosphere, the lights, the music, the way they were sitting close together, and most damning of all, the intimate conversation Charles overheard before they realized he was there. What exactly did the king hear? According to sources, he stood frozen in the doorway as Camilla allegedly told her ex-husband, "It's always been you. It always will be. Charles was just the crown I wanted, but you've always had my heart." Can you imagine hearing those words from the woman you gave up everything for? The woman who cost you public approval and possibly even your first marriage? Palace staff reported hearing the king's roar of rage throughout the entire East Wing. One royal protection officer described it as the most frightening display of royal fury since the days of Henry VIII. Royal commentators didn't mince words. Their analysis points to the ultimate betrayal, karma coming full circle, and poetic justice after the Diana years. Translation: the great royal love story that supposedly justified all those years of scandal might have been a calculated sham all along. And as if that wasn't explosive enough, security footage from the scene has allegedly been secured by the king's most trusted staff. You heard that right. According to senior royal sources, Charles immediately ordered that all security recordings be preserved as evidence before anyone could delete them. Remember how Charles and Camilla's relationship began under similarly scandalous circumstances? Yeah, that irony isn't lost on anyone, especially not on Prince William, who reportedly told aides, "What goes around comes around. My mother might finally get her justice." And guess what? As news of the confrontation spread through royal circles, Camilla was banished from Windsor Castle. No one saw this coming. One minute she's the queen consort with all the privileges that entails, and the next, exiled. No grace period, no public appearances, not even a chance to explain. According to sources close to the royal household, Charles was in such a rage that his doctors had to be called in to monitor his blood pressure. After the medical team left, he allegedly summoned his most senior advisors and delivered an ultimatum. She returns the wedding ring and leaves tonight, or I abdicate the throne tomorrow and tell the world exactly why. The king's fury, the ultimatum, the medical emergency, it was the perfect royal storm. So what happened next? With trembling hands, Camilla reportedly removed her wedding band and placed it on the table between them, collected only personal items, and was escorted from the castle grounds before midnight. What's clear? This scandal could potentially end the monarchy as we know it. And social media? Oh, it's absolutely exploding. As news leaked from palace sources, hashtags started trending worldwide. Camilla, the cheat. Charles betrayed. Diana revenge. One viral tweet with over 4 million likes read, "Diana watching from heaven as Camilla cheats on Charles with her ex-husband is the plot twist we all needed." Another said, "3 people in his second marriage too, except this time, he's the one being betrayed." Critics are calling this karma in its purest form. Royal experts argue that this scandal proves what Diana supporters have claimed for decades, that Camilla's interest was always in the crown, not true love. But others? They think this could get even more dramatic. "This isn't just a personal crisis," said royal commentator Victoria Ashworth. "The monarchy has barely recovered from the Queen's passing, Prince Andrew's scandals, and the Harry-Meghan exit. Now the king's marriage is imploding in the most public and humiliating way possible. The constitutional implications are staggering. News outlets are reportedly fighting for exclusive details. Sources say royal correspondents are being offered unprecedented sums for any photos, recordings, or first-hand accounts of the confrontation. Royal protection officers are on high alert. Palace staff are being questioned. The royal family is in complete disarray. Some insiders claim William is being prepared for the possibility of taking the throne sooner than expected, if Charles follows through on his abdication threat. With a marriage that appears to be over in the most scandalous way, that possibility seems more likely than ever. "I think my father deserves better than this betrayal," Prince William reportedly told his closest advisors. But this is exactly what happens when a relationship is built on deception from the beginning. This isn't just another royal scandal. This is potentially the end of a reign that barely began. It's about betrayal, karma, and whether the British public will continue to support a monarchy that can't escape constant personal drama. Royal experts are divided on whether Charles will follow through on his alleged abdication threat. There's a significant difference between threatening something in the heat of anger and actually doing it, said constitutional expert Sir Malcolm Thornbridge. But Charles has always been more emotional and impulsive than his mother, and this betrayal cuts to the very core of his identity and reign. Former royal staff members have begun speaking out, claiming they've witnessed concerning interactions between Camilla and Andrew Parker Bowles for years. "There was always something there," said one former royal household employee. They would exchange these knowing glances at events where they both attended. The king was either oblivious or in denial. Diana's former butler, Paul Burrell, appeared on morning television looking visibly emotional but restrained. "I won't say I told you so, but Princess Diana always said there were 3 people in her marriage. Now it seems history has repeated itself in the cruelest way." Public opinion polls conducted since the news broke show the monarchy's approval rating in free fall, with 68% of respondents saying this scandal has damaged their view of the institution potentially beyond repair. "What makes this particularly devastating is the timing," said monarchy historian Professor Eleanor Blackwood. "Charles waited decades for the crown, finally has it, and now his personal life is imploding in a way that could actually threaten the institution itself." Palace staff report that King Charles has locked himself in his private study, refusing most meals and speaking only to William and his closest advisors. He's experiencing the stages of grief, said one source. Rage gave way to devastation, and now he seems to be in a state of profound betrayal and loss. Meanwhile, Camilla has reportedly retreated to her son Tom Parker Bowles' London home, refusing all contact with the palace. According to sources close to the Queen Consort, she claims Charles misunderstood the situation entirely and is reacting with typical Windsor melodrama. But the most shocking development? Andrew Parker Bowles himself was photographed leaving Tom's house early this morning, adding fuel to the explosive allegations. Security has been increased around all royal residences as public interest in the scandal reaches fever pitch. Royal protection officers report that crowds have begun gathering outside Buckingham Palace, some holding signs supporting Charles, others celebrating what they see as Diana's vindication. Whether Charles eventually calms down enough to issue a statement or proceeds with formal separation, this moment has already fundamentally altered the monarchy. The betrayal can't be undone, the ring has been returned, and now the world is watching as the British crown faces its most personal crisis in decades. Will Charles follow through on his abdication threat? Will Camilla fight to reclaim her position or retreat from public life? And will the British public finally get to witness the downfall of the woman many never accepted as their queen? According to crisis management experts, the palace has a very narrow window to contain this situation before it permanently damages the monarchy's standing. They need a unified strategy immediately, said reputation specialist Dr. Jonathan Harris. Every hour that passes with competing narratives emerging from different royal camps deepens this constitutional crisis. Sources close to King Charles claim he's already consulted with the Archbishop of Canterbury about the possibility of annulling the marriage on grounds of fraud and misrepresentation. He's telling people that she never loved him, that it was all a calculated plan to become queen, said one insider. Palace staff report that photos of Diana have mysteriously reappeared in prominent positions throughout the king's private apartments, something that had been forbidden during Camilla's reign as queen consort. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and don't miss what happens next in this unfolding royal catastrophe, because this isn't just tabloid drama. This is potentially the biggest royal crisis since the abdication of Edward VIII. In an unprecedented crisis for the British monarchy, Buckingham Palace has confirmed what royal insiders have been whispering for days. Queen Camilla is officially stepping back from royal duties, following the devastating leak of over 100 private videos that have sent shockwaves through the institution. The announcement, delivered via a terse statement from the King's private secretary on royal letterhead, marks the most significant royal departure since the abdication of Edward VIII in 1936. Her Majesty Queen Camilla, with the support of His Majesty the King, will withdraw from public duties effective immediately to address private matters that have come to light in recent days, the statement read. The Queen will be residing primarily at her private residence, Ray Mill House in Wiltshire, for the foreseeable future. The unprecedented separation, carefully worded to avoid terms like divorce or permanent departure, comes after a trove of private recordings spanning decades was leaked to media outlets worldwide. These videos, many filmed without Camilla's knowledge in private royal residences, have revealed conversations that contradict official narratives about her relationship with Charles, her feelings toward Princess Diana, and her role in shaping royal affairs from the shadows. Royal correspondent Nicholas Witchell described the situation as the most severe crisis of King Charles's reign, and possibly the most damaging scandal to hit the monarchy in the modern era. The videos, authenticated by digital forensics experts, appear to have been collected by a former member of the royal household staff, who had unprecedented access to private spaces within multiple royal residences over a 30-year period. The crisis unfolds from leak to separation. The crisis began when the first batch of videos appeared on an anonymous file-sharing site 2 weeks ago. Initially dismissed by royal officials as manipulated content, the authenticity of the footage became undeniable when subsequent clips were released, showing Camilla in private settings discussing sensitive matters that only an insider would know. Despite aggressive legal action from the palace to contain the spread, foreign media outlets beyond the reach of British injunctions began publishing extensive analysis and transcripts. Social media platforms were flooded with clips, making full suppression impossible. By the fourth day of the crisis, Camillagate was trending globally, with over 12 million mentions across platforms. Sources close to the king reveal that the decision for Camilla to leave came after a tense meeting with senior royals at Sandringham, including Prince William, Princess Anne, and Prince Edward. Notably absent was Prince Harry, though reports suggest he was consulted via video call from his California home. According to one insider, it became clear that the monarchy could not weather this storm with Camilla remaining as queen. Someone had to take responsibility, and ultimately, that fell to her. The final decision was reportedly made when pollsters briefed palace officials that public approval for Camilla had plummeted to just 4% following the leaks, with 78% of respondents believing she should relinquish her royal role. More alarmingly for the institution, support for the monarchy itself had fallen to historic lows, with only 31% of Britons wishing to maintain the royal family in its current form. Former Royal Press Secretary Dickie Arbiter noted, "This separation is being framed as temporary, but everyone in royal circles understands this is almost certainly permanent. The question now is whether this sacrifice will be enough to save the institution itself." The most damaging revelations. While the complete contents of the leaked videos remain partially suppressed in the UK through legal injunctions, foreign reporting has revealed several categories of damaging content that made Camilla's position untenable. The Diana conspiracy conversations. Perhaps the most explosive videos show Camilla discussing Princess Diana's death in ways that have horrified the public. In one clip from 2003, Camilla is heard telling an off-camera friend, "The conspiracy theories are Charles's greatest fear. That ridiculous letter Diana wrote to Burrell was theatrical timing at its worst. She had no idea the trouble she'd cause us all from beyond the grave." This callous reference to Diana's handwritten letter to her butler Paul Burrell, in which she predicted she might die in a car crash arranged by Charles to clear his path to marriage with Camilla, has rekindled interest in conspiracy theories surrounding Diana's death. More disturbingly, in a 2016 recording, Camilla appears to suggest inside knowledge of the Paris accident. The driver was the perfect scapegoat. 3 times over the limit, so they said. Who would question that narrative when it tied everything up so neatly? Former Metropolitan Police Commissioner Lord Stevens, who led the investigation into Diana's death, has called for a review of evidence in light of these comments. While I stand by our original findings, these recordings raise new questions that warrant examination by appropriate authorities. The media manipulation campaign. Multiple videos reveal an orchestrated campaign to rehabilitate Camilla's image while simultaneously undermining Diana's legacy. In one 2005 recording, Camilla meets with unnamed media executives and PR consultants to review what they call the Diana problem. "The public still sees her as a saint and me as the villain," Camilla says in the footage. "We need to gradually introduce more complexity to the narrative. Her mental health issues, her affairs, her difficult personality. Not character assassination, but a more balanced picture that helps normalize my position." More shocking is footage from 1997, shortly after Diana's death, in which Camilla discusses with an aide what appears to be a strategy to influence media coverage of Diana's legacy. "We need friendly editors to start contextualizing the grief. It's becoming mass hysteria, and that only elevates her further. Charles can't possibly emerge from her shadow if this continues." Former BBC royal correspondent Peter Hunt observed, "These videos confirm what many suspected, that there was a coordinated effort to reshape public perception of both Diana and Camilla. What's shocking is seeing how clinical and calculated this campaign was, and Camilla's central role in directing it." The William and Harry tapes. Perhaps the most heartbreaking footage involves Camilla's discussions about Princes William and Harry. In one 2001 video, she describes William as the real obstacle to her acceptance in the royal family. "He has her eyes and her suspicion. Charles doesn't see it, but that boy watches me like I'm going to steal the silver. He'll never fully accept me, but we only need him to tolerate me publicly." In another clip from 2019, Camilla discusses Harry and Meghan's departure from royal duties with a tone that contradicts the family's public stance. "It's actually rather convenient timing. They've drawn all the negative attention away from us. Charles says it's a disaster, but having them self-exile means one less Diana loyalist inside the tent. William is problem enough. Royal biographer Robert Lacey noted, "These comments will devastate William and Harry. To hear their stepmother discussing them as problems to be managed rather than family to be loved. It's the ultimate betrayal. The trust there is irreparably broken." Following the leaks, both William and Harry have maintained public silence, though sources close to William indicate he was instrumental in the decision for Camilla to step down. One former aide revealed, "William made his position clear. Either she goes, or he would distance himself from official duties. The choice was obvious. The future king had to be protected at all costs." The constitutional crisis. Beyond the personal betrayals, several videos have raised serious constitutional concerns. In footage from 2017, Camilla is seen discussing political matters in ways that violate the monarchy's required neutrality. Speaking with a Conservative Party donor in a private room at Clarence House, she comments on Brexit negotiations. Charles is furious about the whole thing, though he can't say so publicly. "We're keeping him away from the PM until he calms down. The last thing we need is for him to express his real views and create a government crisis." In another clip, she discusses using royal charitable foundations for purposes that appear to blur ethical lines. The foundation structure works perfectly because the financial oversight is minimal. Charles has been able to support all sorts of projects that would raise eyebrows if directly linked to him. This comment has prompted the Charity Commission to announce a review of royal foundation governance. Constitutional expert Dr. Catherine Haddon from the Institute for Government explained, "These videos raise serious questions about behind-the-scenes political influence and financial governance. The monarchy's legitimacy rests on remaining above politics and beyond reproach in how it handles public and private resources. These revelations undermine both principles." The royal marriage revelations. Several videos have also revealed troubling aspects of Charles and Camilla's relationship itself. In one recording from 2018, Camilla expresses frustration about Charles's continued correspondence with another woman. "I've tolerated the letters to Lady Name inaudible for decades, but now I'm your wife and your queen. It has to stop, Charles. I didn't wait all these years to be humiliated all over again." In another clip from 2010, she appears to suggest their relationship has evolved into more of a partnership of convenience. "We've always been better as allies than lovers, darling. That initial passion faded years ago, but we're stuck with each other now. No one else would understand the strange life we've built." Royal commentator Richard Kay observed, "These intimate glimpses into the royal marriage suggest a much more complicated relationship than the great love story narrative that has been carefully constructed. It raises questions about the authentic nature of the relationship that caused so much turmoil within the royal family." The security breach implications. Beyond the content of the videos themselves, the very existence of such extensive secret recordings has created a national security crisis. Former head of Royal Protection Di Davies called the breach catastrophic and noted, "If someone could plant recording devices throughout multiple royal residences over decades without detection, what else might have been compromised? Foreign intelligence services would pay millions for this level of access." The videos reveal Camilla and Charles discussing sensitive matters of state, diplomatic relationships, and conversations with world leaders that were never meant to be recorded. Home Secretary James Cleverly has announced a comprehensive security review of all royal residences, calling the situation a matter of national security that transcends the personal aspects of these recordings. Intelligence sources suggest the recording operation was remarkably sophisticated, with devices hidden in items like antique clocks, picture frames, and light fixtures throughout Highgrove, Clarence House, and even certain rooms at Buckingham Palace. The Metropolitan Police Counter-Terrorism Command is leading the investigation into how such an extensive surveillance operation could remain undetected for so long. The succession question. With Camilla's departure, constitutional experts are debating the implications for her status and title. While she has stepped back from public duties, she technically remains queen consort unless formal divorce proceedings are initiated. This creates an unprecedented situation in which a reigning king's wife has effectively separated herself from the institution while retaining her legal status. Dr. Bob Morris from University College London's Constitution Unit explained, "We're in uncharted territory. Camilla's title as queen consort derives from her marriage to the king, not from any constitutional role she performs. Unless there's a divorce, she remains queen in name, even if she's no longer functioning in that capacity. This ambiguous situation has prompted discussions about the need for formal clarification of her status. Some constitutional experts have suggested that legislation might be required to formally remove her title while allowing the marriage to continue, an extraordinary step that would require parliamentary action. The path forward. As Camilla settles into her private residence at Ray Mill House, sources close to the king indicate he is devastated but resolved to continue with his duties. At 76, Charles faces the prospect of continuing his reign alone, a situation that royal historian Hugo Vickers describes as adding personal tragedy to institutional crisis. The palace has announced that royal duties previously undertaken by Camilla will be redistributed among other working royals, with Princess Anne and Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, expected to shoulder much of the burden. Catherine, Princess of Wales, will take on some of the patronages previously held by Camilla, though sources indicate she has been deeply affected by the contents of the leaked videos. Prime Minister Keir Starmer has pledged the government's full support to the king during this difficult transition, while emphasizing that the monarchy must demonstrate its value to modern Britain through transparency and service. Opposition leaders have largely echoed this sentiment, though Republican voices in Parliament have grown louder, with several MPs calling for a debate on the future of the monarchy. For now, the royal family's strategy appears to be one of sacrifice and consolidation, removing Camilla from the equation in hopes that the institution itself can survive the crisis. As one senior palace aide put it, the monarchy has weathered abdication, divorce, and death. It will weather this too, but not without fundamental changes to how the institution operates going forward. The British public remains divided, with many expressing sympathy for King Charles, while acknowledging that Camilla's position had become untenable. As the dust settles on the most significant royal departure in nearly a century, the question remains whether removing one figure will be enough to address the deeper issues the leaked videos have exposed about power, privacy, and the purpose of a modern monarchy. For Camilla, who spent decades in the shadows before finally achieving recognition as queen, the fall from grace has been swift and complete. The woman who once told a friend in one of the leaked videos, "It took me 30 years to get here, darling, and I intend to make the most of it," now finds herself once again on the outside of the institution she fought so long to join.